We have a deal. I'm talking about the new arena that, the city council, this happened pretty fast here because it was 2 weeks ago that there was word that broke out that there was a tentative agreement in place with the Calgary Flames, the City of Calgary, and the Calgary Stampede board. And then details of said deal came out here. The thing is, they've only gave, citizens a week to kind of give their say to their respective councillors and the mayor there. But I think the Flames also were anxious to get this done here. While I guess we kind of had growing arena fatigue too in this city because of, the saga. If you read many sources here, just for local media in Calgary there, but there's one good source that's kind of independent that if you are a Flames fan and want to read about the Flames is matchsticks and gasoline here. But there's been talk about the Flames and finding a new arena here pretty much since 2005, where they know that eventually they'd have to look ahead in the future here and how buildings and arenas are designed now, and the fact that over the years here, the unique shape of the Saddledome makes it the roof low in the middle there, where unfortunately we lose out a lot of acts to Edmonton and Vancouver because a lot of big stages can't support the big, saddle in the middle there. And it's unique. It's a unique shaped building for both to show the Western heritage and hospitality there with cowboy hats and saddles, horses, and that's how we associate the Calgary Stampede and Western heritage and hospitality there. But some of the sight lines in that have get instructed in the building there, and the fact that Calgary has pretty much the smallest lower bowl in the NHL. We don't have as many luxury boxes in the lower bowl there. On one hand, it gets you much closer to the ice, but on the other hand, unfortunately, economics there, that's less premium seat tickets and revenue that we're losing out on because of that. And that's also one of the reasons why, if the Calgary Flames were going to stay in the NHL long term here, that eventually we needed a new modern facility here, and it's now been approved that it was 11-4 in favor between the councillors and the mayor that voted for this arena deal here, where it still has it where they estimate, or let's put it realistically here, that the initial cost is going to be $550 million, split in the middle, where we, the city, will pay for half, and the Calgary Flames will pay for the other half here. And I'm thrilled that there is an agreement in place and the arena saga is finally over, because there was been talk about for many, many years there. And if you go back into 2015 there, around this time, this is when King, the CEO of the Calgary Flames, came out. There was this Calgary Next proposal. Originally it was going to be built in the west end of downtown there, and they were looking at revitalizing the West Village there. Not too sure what plans they'll still have in place there, because right now on the west end of downtown there, you have the car dealership, and then now you have the Greyhound building, which now is no longer in use because Greyhound pulled out of Western Canada because their ridership is low there. But then there was an issue of creosote, because there was a processing plant that was on that land there, and then it became another political game because of who was going to clean it up. They said that project was going to cost, I think originally $890 million back in 2015, and then they looked at estimating it was almost going to cost $1.6 billion. However, this was going to be an all-in-one facility where the new arena was going to be there. The other thing that this city needs badly, and hopefully maybe this would be a stepping stone for the future there as a new field house, and then it'd be nice if maybe we had a new modern facility for the Calgary Stampeders there. But I could see on this side that the Calgary Stampeders doesn't draw as much money as the Calgary Flames here, but the Calgary Flames now own the Stampeders here. But I mean, we definitely need those products eventually. And I know if we would have went ahead with the 2026 Winter Olympics there, all that money would have gotten from the various levels of government if we would have voted yes. But understandably, I definitely saw why Calgary voted no there, because ultimately I did feel it was kind of a, do you trust this city council to go ahead with it? And there's always these cost overruns. And going back to this project here, where they say it's going to cost $550 million here, that the cost overruns are also going to be split in the middle, where the Flames will pay for the half, but so would the city here. And if you look back at historic stories here, and also the other piece of this deal here is all part of revitalizing, which is now going to be the East Village, because this new arena is going to be built just north of where the Saddledome is right now, which is just an empty lot there. And now there's another news story about the Stampede elm there, because there's an elm tree that is in the way there that's over 100 years old, and they're not too sure if they could save it or uproot it or try to work around that, because none of the renderings have that tree in there, but it's just a tree. Was Stampede elm is what it's called. It's definitely started to pick up steam here the last couple days. But I mean, we definitely need this new arena to not only keep these guys in town here, because I think the cost of losing the Flames will be a lot bigger than the cost that we got to put into it. Plus, you know, getting all the whole neighborhood with a mixed use of shops, commercial and that, I think that could definitely, you know, put some life in a city that, you know, has definitely been economically depressed here the last few years. But hopefully, maybe a few changes in government here will make it a lot more business friendly. We at least did that provincially there, but we still got fairly here. And then getting back to the other side of the coin here, I mean, I know optically this was also after when the Calgary City Council said, oh, we're $60 million short here, we need to cut services or find cuts somewhere. But of course they go after police, fire, and transit, but then they don't seem to want to cut their salaries there. But this came on the heels of that. That's like, you know, now we're hearing, you know, I mean, I support the project because I'm a sports fan, and also the fact I see more and beyond just a place for the Flames to play in. But I mean, it's all the teams, and then like going back to the unique shape of the Saddledome. I love the shape there, and hopefully maybe there'll be some reconsideration on somehow keeping this building here, because part of this deal is that eventually the Saddledome's going to be knocked down once the Flames and then also the Hitmen and the Roughnecks play in this new building. That's that. And then also the fact that they're saying that the city's going to pay for 90% of the cost, and they say it's going to cost like what, $15 million around there to demolish the Saddledome, and the Calgary Flames are only going to pay like for $1 million of that. I mean, I think there's other plans that they were going to put redevelopment on that land there, but it'd be nice if there was actually more stuff to do in that area where you don't have as far to go before or after the game there. Because, I mean, Stampede Park is just a lot of concrete and just conference buildings that aren't used on game day or game night there. So, I mean, it's still close to the LRT. But, yeah, I mean, it's just optically you see that side of the coin. But, I mean, me as a taxpayer, I pay for things that I never use, like, for example, bike lanes. And I'm going to say more people are going to benefit from this than bike lanes. And there's also another historic example that, you know, when the Saddledome was built, I mean, keep in mind this was in the early 80s, and we're talking about dollars then, that I think they originally estimated the Saddledome, which this was part of the venues that was going to be used for the 1988 Winter Olympics at the time, that they said originally the building was going to cost $86 million, and then it almost cost $100 million, where, because there was cost overruns, and the fact that the unique shape of the Saddledome and the parabolic roof there required a lot of concrete there, and ultimately the city had to pay, I believe, for all the overruns there. And, I think eventually people cooled off a little once they saw the new building and got the Olympics here. And I think that's going to cool off a little because I've looked at you see a lot of sources about all these other major stadium projects. There's not one place that I can think of, especially in North America, where it was 100% privately funded. If we're going to pay for half of it, I've seen some NFL cities and stadiums. Keep in mind, those stadiums cost now over $1 billion, and we're talking about US dollars, so at least 2.5 times what this building's going to cost, and you had half of the taxpayers paying for that. Mind you, you got bigger markets too, in a bigger city there, but yeah, you got many NFL cities that pay for their $1 billion buildings, and there were still some taxpayers' dollars in it, and they're saying that actually Calgary is getting a better deal than Edmonton did, because ultimately, the Flames will operate and maintain the building, and they'll pay for it for 35 years there, and the city's going to own the building, and and they're leasing it out to the Flames there, so they're going to collect money back there, and ultimately there's going to be levies charged on tickets, and the overinflated prices that we pay for beer and popcorn and everything else at the game is going to be coming back paid into it. So, and you only pay for that as you use it too. But I definitely see both sides of it. But the city needs it, and I'm definitely glad that the arena saga is over. And we'll see in 2021 both when the ground's going to get broken. But right now, actually, most people are not too happy how things are going with the approval rating with the mayor and city council there. And I know that Mayor Nenshi there, me personally, I liked him when he first came onto the scene back in 2010 here, but unfortunately as time goes on and as the economy's gone and having too much left-wing politics and power here, it's time to get back to conservative here. And I think he definitely said, well, if you don't like the deal, you get your say in 2021. And I personally think there might be a change in that once this new building gets going here. But any big projects here, you get one previous government that starts it, and then you have another government that ends it. I know the other recent project that was a big city project was the West Line. It was during the Brown Kanye administration that was being built, and then there were some stories about him selling land on the West End and building his LRT. But I remember that project also, it was estimated to cost $700 million, and it was approved back in 2005-06 there, and then he eventually opened late 2012, actually on the date that it was promised to be open, but it cost $1.4 billion, and eventually it was Ed Nenshi that was in charge for the opening. But he did thank Ron Kanye when I went to the opening ceremony there. But that's a different story altogether. Unfortunately, it's politics has to get involved when it talks about finances here. But I'm just looking forward to seeing this new arena when it gets built, and hopefully, the Saddledome's definitely served Calgary well, and we'll miss the building if indeed it's going to get demolished. And I hope they could find a way to maybe repurpose it. Heck, if Toronto was able to repurpose Maple Leaf Gardens to have a Loblaws there, and then have an arena for Ryerson University, where you see the iconic roof that you see in the old Maple Leaf Gardens there, but obviously the rink is on a higher level where the Loblaws is. My suggestion for the Saddledome is, if they want to keep it, revitalize it as a big rec center. There's always a demand for sheets of ice, and I personally didn't work on it, but our firm definitely has gotten a lot of rec centers over the years, and that's just my suggestion if anyone's watching it. But I'm just looking forward to seeing the future and all the renderings of this new arena. And it's finally the end of the saga here. And if you look around the NHL, there's actually going to be no teams they can say they're really in danger of moving now, because Calgary's now going to be in line of getting a new building, and let's say if they broke ground in 2021, they say 3 years, so by 2024-25, opening night will be in the new building. The New York Islanders are eventually going to get their new own building. I mean, they've been partly also playing in Barclays Center, but it hasn't worked out, especially when it's designed for basketball. And then the there's a new owner in place for the Arizona Coyotes. And definitely, there's still debate about hockey working in Arizona there, but it's definitely out of the way where they're playing, especially in a fringe market there, because I know more people embraced the Coyotes when they first came in, and they actually played in downtown Phoenix there, but then it was in the same building that the Suns played in, and it's problems when you put a rink in a building that's designed for basketball, and you have bad vantage points, or if you're overhanging, you don't see half the ice there. I could see that being a problem. Hopefully you get a nice little discount there, but that's probably doesn't happen. But anyway, it's nice to know that we have a deal, and despite where you lean on this, I think eventually when it's all said and done, Calgary is going to be happy with this, regardless of where your feelings are with the current city council and the mayor. And let's say when the new regime or a new council and mayor comes in, either way, whoever's running the show, there's always going to be new people in charge, whoever's in charge when this new arena opens, because 2021 is next time there'll be a municipal election, and 2025 is when they say after the first season, that's when the next municipal election is, unless they change the rules again, where it's instead back to 3 years. But there'll be a couple changes in government on all levels here too. So, and actually, ultimately, there was no funding from the provincial or federal government here. This is just local government and the Flames chipping in here. So, so you can't really factor anything in from Alberta or federally in Ottawa. So, what do you think? I'm just fine. I'm just glad it's over, and knowing that there is stability back at the Calgary Flames here, and they'll be bright future ahead, and won't hear any threats about moving anytime soon. As I say, I'll see you in the next video.